This is the Out and About podcast, out in the streets and in cyberspace with Marcus G and Tony, financial literacy expert. Going to kick off this episode by Tony picking the topic.
We're going to talk about one of the most important keys is unification. Anything to succeed or success, unity has to be involved.
Definitely.
Unity is about being a part of something bigger than what you are, bigger than any individual. Finding a place within the world that makes us happy, productive, and successful contributes to the world in a way that amplifies our individual effort. If you're skillful,
Yeah,
and you have a unified team,
correct.
that's just going to amplify your skill set.
Exactly. It's finding that place where you fit in within this system. And that's what a lot of people always get into, this weird place of, I can do it all on my own. You can do a lot on your own, but it's going to take you so much longer to accomplish tasks. And when you have groups of people working together, they're going to accomplish things much faster. And once you learn that, you can observe and start unifying your team of people to accomplish great things, build cities, build communities. And it takes working together, because when people don't work together, they work against each other and nothing gets accomplished. And it becomes a bigger problem than you actually realize. I don't need to do everything. I need to find what I'm great at and get into my position so that everybody else can be in position and we win.
I wrote a poem one time. It was called We Were Taught.
Okay.
A brief synopsis of the poem basically saying that we were taught not to unify.
No.
So even though we may look at people and we might say, oh, that's a selfish individual. Some of that has been taught and trained on that individual. And so it's up to, guys like us to bring information to the community. Otherwise, what are you doing? You're wasting time if you're not enhancing your environment where you live, work, and worship. A major aspect of success, unification, is very important when it comes to being successful in entrepreneurship, because our culture or our environment has a vibe of individualization. Like, you need to do everything on your own. You need to be by yourself. Everybody hold their own. That's not the way the world works, and it's not the key to success. And if there is a group of people, culture, ethnic groups, or what have you, that wants another group of people not to succeed, then they'll teach them division.
Divide and conquer.
Understanding that amplifying your skill set is most important by unifying or unification. Just use your imagination. If you think about Michael Jordan, I don't know if he could have won all those championships without Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman.
They were a unit.
And that's how they were able to accomplish that. But when it comes to business, people think differently. Like, oh, I'm gonna hold my own. I got this, you got that. No, if you wanna grow, all Fortune 500 companies are there because of the unification abilities of that company. They were able to unify a team, a workforce, to get a certain task done, right? Why most people in our culture can't see that, I have no idea. But here's the thing. I'm not even gonna say most people in our culture. I'm gonna just say some people in our culture. Okay. And we have already pegged them as bottom feeders.
Bottom feeders.
It's a lot of them around in certain areas. Getting back to the topic at hand, unification is a powerful thing. The power of unity, finding harmony in a collective world, is very important. The article goes on to say that it's significant to unify our individual needs and wants into doing work that makes us happy, because the energy is passed on to the environment and people around us. So leading by example is the cure, because plenty of people have opinions about things, but the opinion is not going to get it done. Is your example is what's going to get it done. Creating and maintaining an imbalanced lifestyle is unnecessary hard work for little reward. Working on bringing everything together is most important. And that's why we've started this exclusive investment club
Exactly.
to be able to train individuals on financial literacy and give them a reward while doing it.
So that goes back to unity, accomplishing more. And I'm glad you say that, because the definition of an entrepreneur is basically bringing people and resources together to turn a profit.
Right.
So, it's bringing those things together in order to do something bigger and greater than the individual parts. So, financial literacy, like you said, is a very important part of it, because we want everybody to flourish and be around. We don't want to be sitting there and watching people in our community struggle unnecessarily, because when that happens, we're not unified. We're not a team. We're not moving in a cohesive way. So, it's very important. We can even go around and talk to a couple people as the day progresses a little bit later on and get some opinions on unity and what it takes to do something big and how they've experienced stuff like that. I think that would be a great thing to do.
It goes back to early school and curriculums where it's not taught the power of the mind and how to use the mind. It's an open market for that. It's a need for it, and hopefully we can bring that need to the masses. You're not going to win all the minds of everyone, but you'll get a few. But the key is to lead by example.
It's important to study culture.
Right. Most of our people, they don't really study cultures. They just look at their own culture.
Okay.
And when they look at their own culture and see that their own culture is set up to be separate and be an individual when it comes to trying to do something as a cohesive group.
Let me interject. I'm going to say that they don't go back into history and look at where they came from within their culture, because like you said, if you go back in time, there are great civilizations and different people at different times of different culture. Nowadays, like you said, moving fast forward, it's been lost.
It's been lost, and that's what I said about the curriculum in school.
Yeah.
They don't teach you that. They don't teach you that history. Or you can just look around every day, right? And if you take a look at another culture, if you take a look at, say, you just take a look at the Spanish people, right? And you watch their progression and how fast they're moving along, and then you ask the question why and how. There's a simple answer. They're unified. When I was in Glen Burnie, I had a rental property out there that I rented to a Spanish guy, and he asked me if he could move some of his family members in, and I said, of course so.
Right.
I come back a few weeks later to check on him. He got 15 of his family members living in a 4-bedroom house.
Woo!
Within 3 years,
Yeah.
each one of those 15 members had their own house.
Woo!
Because they started one by one, okay?
They started building.
Julio get a house next.
Yeah.
Santaz get a house next.
So basically what was happening is, so it started out with all these people. So then one got a house. So then not as many people need to live in this one house. And so now they can expand.
What they did was they pooled their money.
We're going to enjoy some of these good eats real quick.
Yeah, and then we'll get back.
And then we're going to get back to it.
Ran into one of our good buddies who is an awesome bartender over at
Foxy's and Italian wine bar.
Foxy's and China Wine Bar on Light Street.
Light Street, yeah.
Italian wine, but you gotta go check this dude out.
Yeah, the best lemon drops of tequila you ever had.
Best lemon drop, and he gonna hook you up. He gonna make sure that your drink is tight. So running into him, we decided to continue the conversation that me and MGL was having about unity, importance of unity, and just what some people perspectives.
So like unity in terms of like unity between like the people.
Unity between yourself trying to get something accomplished. For example, just think about if you wanted your own bar. Do you think that you can get that done by yourself as an individual, or do you think unity is necessary or it's unnecessary?
Oh yeah. Oh, I think it's definitely necessary. I don't think it's just necessary for like just like you say, like to be successful. I think it's necessary in general. Like I think people, first of all, a lot of our cultures, a lot of our ways in society, we didn't come up with like this stuff individually. Like a lot of our greatest, inventions or discoveries in mankind was made as a group. I truly believe that, in terms of life and society, no one's life is truly just all their own. I believe that our experiences is shared. You know what I'm saying? A life is a journey. And it's not just for oneself. It's a shared experience. You know what I'm saying? Like people's walk of life. Sit at a bar and just talk to the bartender? You know what I'm saying? It's like therapy because the bartender. Exactly. But like, before y'all did that with me, I did that with someone else.
Yeah.
Like because like I had some like when I first moved to Baltimore, I actually had nowhere to live. I was homeless. I think I was about 19 years old, 19, 20. I had no job. And I was just walking around here, just walking around. And I remember there was this bar at Power Plant Live, and there was a bartender there. He was so nice. I was like, hey, man, I only got $5 in my pocket. Can I just sit here and fill out these job applications? This guy gave me a free beer and let me sit there. He gave me some chips and salsa. And me and him we friends to this day. Me and him been friends for a long time. And so he doesn't live down in Maryland no more, but sometimes me and him still connect and stuff like that. But when he was in Maryland, he was still at that bar. I used to go there all the time. I used to bless him. We used to just throw him big tips because I never forgot that kindness, man. That was huge. Like, that experience, I pay that for. You feel me? I've done that to someone else. And I'm hoping that they do that for someone else. That's what I'm saying. When you say, like, is unity important? Yeah, bro. That makes the world go round.
Because the universe gives you back what you deserve. And I'm saying, after all we've been through in our culture, we deserve unity. So that was an important aspect about what we were talking about when it came to entrepreneurship or success.
We gotta pick our brothers up instead of kicking each other down. Like, you know what I'm saying? We supposed to be coming together, supposed to be like, holding each other down.
So we're kind of looking for the solutions to how we can be unified again.
That's a good question because I think deeply about it all the time. I think deeply about what it truly means to obtain equality in this society. I think about that all the time.
Unity.
Wherever there's people, there's power.
Whatever you're trying to obtain, if it's equality, whatever, unity is required, is the whole point.
I completely agree with that, brother.
It was good talking to you, man.
No.
We're going to send you that video, man. And personal fulfillment, they say it's not a luxury, it's a necessity for balance and a productive life or in business or life in general. When we engage in work that resonates with our passion and interest, we bring a unique energy and enthusiasm to that particular task. The positive energy is contagious, fostering a supportive and dynamic environment, meaning is when people see you with success and they see how you got that success through unity, it actually improved the community. It encourages others to also pursue that passion, creating a ripple effect that enhances overall productivity and satisfaction within a community or organization.
Right.
So you pay a big cost by not being balanced in life. But the key is unity, and the path to unity is most important. Some of the things that we have to look at when it comes to unity is self-reflection. That's one of the most important things. Look in the mirror. Is it you that do not want to unify, that doesn't want to unify? Is it you? You, of course, have to set goals.
100%.
Finding that balance is very important.
Gotcha.
Building connections, networking, going around to different events.
Out and about.
And then self-improvement.
You looking back at yourself and all the things that you've done, and you saying, who am I today? Because who I am today is not who I was yesterday. And I think that a lot of people always get caught up and they get into the ego type thing where it's like, what I've done was great, but there's so much more for me to accomplish. And those milestones are important to celebrate, but sometimes I think people tend to celebrate a little too early.
Yeah, that's funny. But you know, what you're speaking about with self-improvement, whenever you get on that page where your day was better than yesterday, yeah, you're in a good space. You're in a good space. And you know, I encourage everyone to try to get to that place where just your next day is better than your yesterday, right? You get to that place, you are producing balance in your life, actually, and you're going forward towards success. So, in my over 30 years as an entrepreneur in business, I haven't seen any successful business person or entrepreneur that was set up to be divided. Thank you. To be divided and not have unity within their organization. I haven't seen anybody do it by themselves. No one. So it's not gonna happen.
So it's a myth that you can do it all on your own.
Yeah, that's a misconception.
Misconception is a big misconception because little steps help you take major leaps. So now it's like, okay, I did this, I did that, I've accomplished a lot. Now I have this person with me helping me accomplish more. So now you're getting back to the unity of the community type situation, which I think is dope. Like I said, a lot of people overlook it and they be like, well, this, that, and the other. And bring it full circle to reflection is like, what did I do to get to this point? How did my actions impact the actions of others? Because now I've gotten here, and while I'm here alone, did I get my ego to a certain place that made me here alone? Was I not in the right company that got me here? Have I not found my tribe? Have I been looking for my tribe? Am I ready to be open to find the people who are for me and not just trying to get something from me?
And see, that's the task right there. That's the task. You're gonna have to go through a bunch of failures to get that right team. And so I don't hold too much grudgement against those that are trying to do things on their own and be individuals, because a lot of those folks have been burned by individuals posing as someone that want to unify and want to be in a group setting, but the whole time they in your way and holding you back and being a distraction. So my suggestion would be, just like we do in trading, you cut your losses pretty fast.
Yeah.
When you see that one sign, and it's the key, when you see that one sign, you do not give them a chance for another sign. And most people do, because they may like a person, they might like hanging with a person, they might like the conversation with the person. But when they see a sign that shows them that they're not on the same page as far as unification and trying to be successful in business, you see that, you have to cut that loss quickly if you want to succeed in business.
Ooh, so as a trader, I can see that, especially if you're day trading, there's a very key point to take notice of, because you only have so much time to win or lose. So now you have to take that snap judgment and calculate all this stuff so much faster than a lot of people do in their everyday relationships and things of that nature. So now you're able to reflect and you can apply these principles to more than just trading, but everyday life. So goes back to financial literacy is so important, because we're talking about relationships with people. We're talking about trading. We're talking about dealing with companies. We're talking about entrepreneurship. We're talking about investing. All these things play a pivotal role that orchestrate every day of our life because some entrepreneur did something that allows you to do something that you enjoy. So if you're watching TV, an entrepreneur came up with a television. An entrepreneur came up with the light to create the elements to make that television. For you to get a drink at a restaurant, for us to sit here, it took an entrepreneur to say, look, let me get these people together, let me get these resources so that I can make money so that people can enjoy it and have a great day. So now people don't break these things down into the everyday life, but everything that they use and have is affected by an entrepreneur. Somewhere a business owner has given you the freedom to say, you know what, I want this. This makes my life easier.
Speaking of that, I was reading the article earlier, right?
Yeah.
There was a 17-year-old young black kid that was born in the 1800s. He was set free when he was 8 months old.
Uh-huh.
He created the doorknob,
Woo, every day you use.
make life easier.
Make life easier.
He created the doorknob, man. 17 years old. Never got the credit, never got the wealth from it.
Every day people use this to function in life. And it's crazy that you see this happen to a lot of inventors and stuff like that. So you have people who are inventors. You have people who are entrepreneur and business people. You have consumers. You have all these people. But together we create a unique ecosystem that works together to make everyone's life better.
Right, getting back to the unity side of the situation, people have been burnt. I'm gonna tell you, they've tried it. They've tried to group up with their family members. They tried to group up with friends, and it flopped. But here's the key. In order for you to be successful in business, you have to learn how to accept your losses. It's just like trading, man. In order for you to be a winner in trading, you have to be a good loser. You have to know when to cut your losses. There's a guy, he wrote a song. I think his name was Willie Nelson.
Oh, Willie?
Yeah,
Willie?
he said you got to know when to hold them
Uh-huh.
and when to fold them
Okay.
and when to run away.
And when to run away. So what you're saying is basically it's important to reflect, to go back and look and say, you know what? This is what it was, this is what it is, and this is what it will be.
That's how you learn.
You learn.
You learn from reflecting, going back and seeing where you went wrong, but you don't stop. That's the key. So now people, so when people get
Give him
burnt,
the jewel, give him the jewel, give him the jewel, give him the jewel.
when people get burnt, they stop.
Ooh.
And they say, these people are no good, they're no good people.
Uh-huh.
True, some are, but then some are good. So it's up to you, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, to find the right people for your team and to build that team through unity. I think that's key.
So build the team through unity. Do not quit.
Accept your loss.
Accept your losses.
Cut them fast.
Cut them fast. And keep going. Because now you reflected. You saw where you've been. You're not the same person that you were because you learned. You looked at that person and said, you know what? I want to make that person better person than they were yesterday so that tomorrow they'll be greater. And that's great.
Yeah.
And I goes back to not a lot of people who have that mindset and understand that they can be that person. Some people are just stubborn, stuck in their ways, and you have to just disassociate with them.
So you know what I do when it comes to that? Because of course, over 30 years in business, I've been through ups and downs and tried to form teams that fell apart and got burnt and the likes. But here's what I do. When I get burnt or somebody does something that they're not supposed to do associated with the organizational team, and you get this rage, the spirit of rage in you where you want to retaliate or you may even want revenge. I turn that energy into motivation to be successful and to show those individuals that may have done me wrong that, hey, my success is my payback, because you could have been right here beside me, but you're not. When it comes to that, instead of wanting to be revenge or stopping the whole program and saying, I'm just gonna give up because everybody's no good, you can't do that. You have to use it as motivation to succeed, to show those that may have did you wrong or burnt you or what have you, give them that payback with your success, I would say.
You're absolutely right.
So to summarize everything and to sum it up, basically, in order for you to be successful in business or as an entrepreneur, you have to be a successful unifier.
Building teams, bring people together. Like you said, we meet with somebody else who building a team. We making things happen. So we're going to unify people. We're going to unify this great team, and we're going to keep going. So what I say we're going to do is we're going to start chopping it up a little bit later with y'all, and we're going to make some things happen. So stay tuned.
Cheers.
Cheers.